Hello Terra Mystica players and welcome to the first video in my Terra Mystica record score videos. We're about to take a look at a 4-player game played on the Snellman site, of which I put a link in the description, in which a certain player scored a record score with a certain faction. So the game conditions, as will be the same in all of this series of videos, were a 4-player game on the original game board with the mini Terra Mystica expansion included. So for those who are not familiar with this expansion, it includes these extra town tiles and the temple round scoring tile and a bonus card that gives 3 power and 3 points for each shipping level at the end of the round. So without further ado, let's look at the game setup. Welcome Terra Mystica players to Game 1. Our first record-breaking player is CTG Shadow playing in Seat 3 against Ozymandias in Seat 1, who has already chosen the Swarmlings, and Alex in Seat 2, who has opted for the Alchemists. Also in Seat 4 we have Fujiwara. So guys, this is the point in which CTG Shadow chose his faction, which he went on to score a record score for that particular faction. So if you wish to pause the video at this point and see if you can come to your own decision to which faction he actually chose, now's the time to do it before I continue with the analysis. The factions chosen by players 1 and 2, Swarmlings and Alchemists, are neighbours on the colour wheel. They're blue and black, leaving the rest of the wheel wide open for player 3. Should player 3 choose a brown or green faction, that would leave too much freedom on the colour wheel for player 4. Whilst choosing a red faction might also mean player 4 choosing a colour neighbouring the red faction, such as the Nomads on yellow. Should player 3 choose a grey or yellow faction, player 4 may then choose the free colour out of grey and yellow, so giving player 3 or 4 no colour neighbour. The bonus cards look fairly useful with the presence of the Dig, the Priest, and 3 scoring bonuses, but a slight lack of power. The round scoring is where the strategy really shows in this game. CTG Shadow would have perhaps noticed that both the Swarmlings and the Alchemists were likely to employ stronghold openings with a temple build in round 2. This should diminish the competition for the Earth 1 favour tile, allowing a temple opening faction in round 1 to take an economic favour tile and compete for Earth 1 in round 2. Temple build in round 1 will also provide priest income to take advantage of the rounds 2 and 3 cult bonuses to boost coin income. This supplementary coin income will allow a more dwelling-focused expansion in the early game and provide the coins for the trading posts in rounds 4 and 5. Round 6 we have Sanctuary Stronghold scoring. This does not lend itself to high scoring in my opinion, as resources at this stage of the game are often better employed in expanding the network. So a faction choice and strategy that builds one of either the Sanctuary or the Stronghold in the final round and can still score handsomely from network expansion may be strong here. So guys, now I will give you some clues as to what faction was actually chosen by CTG Shadow. So the first clue is the opening was a temple with 3 dwellings. And the second clue, the priest bonus card, is actually very useful for this faction. And clue number 3, most people consider this faction to be a fairly weak faction. So guys, now it's time for me to reveal the faction actually chosen by CTG Shadow in this setup. And that faction was the Fakirs. And he actually eventually finished the game with a score of 168. And in Seat 4, Fujiwara chose the Oran. So that really worked out well. A slightly risky pick of the Fakirs in Seat 3, but with Fujiwara choosing the Oran, leaving the players 1, player 2 and player 4 bunched together on the colour wheel, and the Fakirs with no color neighbor really worked out very, very well for CTK Shadow. Perhaps a bit of luck there, but if you're going to score a record score, you're going to need some luck somewhere. So let's have a quick look at the Fakirs player board. Anyone not familiar with the Fakirs, their special ability is the Carpet Flight ability, which allows, at the expense of one priest, the Fakirs to build a dwelling by jumping over one hex. And then with the Stronghold, or also the Carpet Flight Town tile, this can upgrade the Carpet Flight ability, allowing them to jump over 2 hexes, still at the expense of one priest. But the Stronghold is actually quite expensive, costing 10 coins. So a lot of players will just go for the Carpet Flight Town tile, which comes with the mini expansion. Each time the Fakirs do a Carpet Flight action, they get 4 points for this. So this is a good way to score in the late game by expanding the network and building dwellings across the map, doing Carpet Flight actions. So let's have a look at the initial placements. So we can see here the Fakirs have placed on D3 and F3. Now F3 looks like a fairly uncontested town spot on the central continent, giving the Fakirs access to the rest of the board, especially with their Carpet Flight ability. And D3 could be a 3-hex town that will expand to E3 and E2. Perhaps some slight competition from the alchemists on E2. It will be a race because the alchemists need to first dig D2 to get to E2, and the Fakirs need to dig E3 so before they can terraform E2. So a slight race for E2, but other than that, it looks like fairly smooth going for the Fakirs in this game. So it would be more of a case of maximizing scoring. So being in seat 3, the Fakirs were second to choose a bonus card, and the first bonus card was chosen by Fujiwara in seat 4, and he chose the Sanctuary Stronghold bonus card, which left the Dig bonus card free for CTK Shadow to pick for the Fakirs, which is the best bonus card for them, as their power distribution at the beginning of the game is particularly weak, making it very difficult for them to benefit from one of the power actions, the dig power actions. They usually get taken by the other factions. Then Alex took the priest and Ozymandias took the 6 coins. On to round 1 now, and this is the position on the game board at the end of the round. Now we can see the other factions have all gone for stronghold openings, and the Fakirs actually went for a temple. But before that, they upgraded D3 to a trading post and then used their dig bonus card action to terraform E6 and build a dwelling there. So they actually got plenty of leech from the other factions and managed to grab the double dig power action, converting E3 to yellow and G2 to yellow, building on E3. And then they upgraded the trading post on D3 to a temple, taking the Fire 1 favor tile. Now, the Fire 1 favor tile gives 1 step up the fire cult and provides an extra 3 coin of income at the end of each round. Now, we would often expect a lot of players to go for the Earth 1 favor tile during temple building in round 1, but because the other factions were all going for stronghold openings, CTK Shadow could go for an economic favor tile instead, and also gain by moving up to the 2 spot on the fire cult from a cult income, 1 extra worker at the end of the round, and still compete for the Earth 1 favor tile in round 2, which is incidentally a temple building round. So this is the position on the game board at the end of round 2, a round in which the Fakirs didn't do an awful lot. First, they upgraded E6 to a trading post, and then on the second turn, they upgraded that trading post to a temple, taking the Earth 1 favor tile, which gives 2 points for each dwelling built until the end of the game. Then on their next turn, they passed out of the round, taking the dwelling scoring bonus card. Now, in doing this, they passed up on the opportunity to throw a priest into the cult track and benefit from the 2 coins for each priest in the cult track cult bonus at the end of this round. Now, the reason they passed out so soon was because of competition with the alchemists for the E2 hex and wanting to be first to the dig power actions at the beginning of the next round and grab that hex before the alchemists. So this is the situation at the end of round 3, which was a dig scoring round. Now the Fakirs obviously took the double dig power action straight away at the beginning of the round and dug on E2, building a dwelling there, preventing the alchemists from taking that hex. They also dug D4, providing another hex for their town on the central continent. Later they would build a dwelling on G2 before performing 2 carpet flight actions going to E8 and I7. And also during this round, the Fakirs managed to throw a priest into the Earth cult, getting them up to spot 3 in the cult, benefiting from the cult bonus at the end of this round with 3 coins. Now on to round 4, and this is the situation at the end of the round. This round was a trading post scoring round, and CTK Shadow had the trading post scoring bonus card in this round. Very useful. So the first thing he did was upgrade G2 to a trading post, and then he was fortunate enough to get the 7 coin power action, Act 4, to boost his coin supply. So then he built another trading post on D4 to complete the town, taking Town 7, or the Carpet Flight town tile, which boosts his carpet range. So now he can jump over 2 hexes instead of 1. So on the very next turn, he then built on G4 using a carpet flight action. Then 2 more trading posts on E2 and I7. So that's 4 trading posts in the round, so plenty of points there, especially as he has the trading post bonus card. Then he passed out of the round, grabbing the dwelling bonus card, bonus 9, going into the next round. So this is the position at the end of round 5 in which the Fakirs built a temple in the south on I7. They took the Air 1 favor tile, which gives points for leaving trading posts on the board at the end of the round. They also managed to get the priest power action, increasing their number of priests. So they took 3 carpet flight actions in this round, building dwellings on B1, A5 and G7, leaving 7 dwellings on the map at the end of the round. As they were holding the dwelling scoring bonus card, that's an extra 7 points. Of course, building those dwellings with the carpet flight, they get 4 points for each carpet flight action they took, 3 in this particular round, and 2 points for building the dwellings because they hold the Earth 1 favor tile. So a very nice round, again, for the Fakirs. When they passed out the round, again, they took another scoring bonus tile, the trading post scoring bonus going into the final round. And now onto round 6, the final round, a Sanctuary Stronghold scoring round in which the Fakirs were holding the trading post bonus card. Immediately on their first turn, the Fakirs took the double dig power action and terraformed D8 from brown to yellow, and also gave the Oran a bit of problems in the west. The Oran had just terraformed E1 using some bonus digs from the cult bonuses. They just terraformed it to green. So the Fakirs used their second dig to terraform E1 to grey. And then on their next turn, the Fakirs upgraded the temple on D3 to a sanctuary and were to take the Fire 3 favor tile, moving themselves up the fire cult, I think to step 7. And the following turn, they upgraded the dwelling on E3 to a trading post to complete the town there, taking the 8-point town tile and 1 step up each cult, so moving the fire cult marker up to step 8. The next go, they were to complete the cult by throwing a priest into the final spot on the fire cult and complete that fire cult. And then the remaining actions, they built another 2 dwellings using carpet flight actions on D8 and B6 to complete the game. So at the end of the game, the final scoring, the Fakirs win with an incredible record-setting score of 168. Oren in second place with 145, Swarmlings 112, and the Alchemists 100. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. There's plenty more game analysis videos like this coming to the channel. And if your name is CTK Shadow, congratulations, an amazing game. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.